Monitoring and event management. This is another one that you have to recall the purpose of, and there's a term that we're going to have to define. Let's start with the purpose. The purpose of monitoring and event management practice is to systematically observe a service or a service component and record and report selected changes of state identified as events. And events is the word that we're going to have to define. Now, this practice identifies and prioritizes infrastructure, services, business processes, information security events, and then it establishes the appropriate response to those events, including responding to the conditions that could lead to potential faults or incidents. Event management is really important for us, and this brings us to the term that we need to memorize. This one is called an event. An event is any change of state that has significance for the management of a configuration item, or a CI, or an IT service. For example, an event might be when you log in successfully, or when you fail to log in successfully. It might be that the bandwidth is exceeded for a certain threshold. It might be that the free space on a server gets below a certain threshold. These are all things that could be events. We want to make sure that we take some action based on these events, and depending on what the event is, that's going to tell us what we need to do. The event might be something that's informational, or it might be a warning, or it might be an alert, depending on the severity. If it's something informational, like we had a successful login, that's fine. We don't have to take any action. We might just log it. But if we have something like a login failure that happened 3 times, that might become a warning, and we want to figure out why did that account try to log in 3 times incorrectly. If we have something like the free space on a server gets below 10 gigabytes, that might be an alert because it might cause the server to crash if we run out of disk space. That's the idea here with the event and monitoring. We want to make sure we understand what events there are and we monitor them to decide what actions need to be taken. Some of those actions need to go out and get into the problem management perspective or the incident management perspective. But again, here inside of the event monitoring, we're really focused on the event, which is any change in state that has significance for the management of a configuration item, a CI, or an IT service.